This is the question most of us carry quietly. We don't talk about it much. We go to work, we love people, we make plans. Somewhere underneath, this quiet awareness sits with us. What I have been thinking about for a long time is this: we were not born with this fear of death. A baby doesn't look at the world and worry about death. So, somewhere between that pure beginning and who we are now, something has changed. Something shifted inside us. This presentation is about giving you the answers. It's most like walking together through that shift, understanding how this fear slowly took the shape inside us. Through love, through becoming someone, through meaning. So let's begin at the very beginning. So हम डेथ के लिए इतने क्यों डरते हैं? See, most of us assume that fear of death is just natural, like breathing. But if you really look at it, a newborn doesn't fear the non existence. A small child doesn't fully understand the permanence at. The fear we feel as adults is more complex. It needs certain things to exist: a sense of I, the ability to imagine tomorrow, the capacity to love someone so deeply that thought of losing them hurts. In a way, this fear is something we grow into. It's not given to us at birth, but it's constructed slowly as we become more fully human. And that changes how we look at it, doesn't it? So, जब हम जन्म लेते हैं, ये डेथ का डर नहीं रहता है. जब हम बड़े होते जाते हैं, अटैचमेंट्स बढ़ता जाता है हमारा सराउंडिंग के साथ, और रिलेशनशिप हम ग्रो करते जाते हैं, ये डेथ होने का डर बढ़ता जाता है. ठीक है? Think about an home for a moment. Complete safety will be there. No concept of time will be there. No me separate from the old. No tomorrow to worry about. In that space, it has no meaning because there is no I yet to lose. It's only the period in our entire existence where this fear is completely absent. And that is fascinating because it shows us that the fear of death is not automatic. It needs a self, it needs attachment, it needs the ability to imagine the loss. We start without it, and then life slowly build inside us. Okay? एक कहावत है, बोलते हुए आप भी सुना होंगे. We come with nothing, fight for everything, and go with nothing. Like that is there. So something important happens as the child grows. Another time they start recognizing themselves in the mirror. The sense of I begins to form, and the moment there is an I, there is something that can be threatened, something that can be lost. Before that, there was just an experience. Before that, there is a person who can suffer loss. The same development that allows us to say me, mine, also creates a possibility of fearing the disappearance of that me. It's almost poetic and a little heartbreaking. The price of becoming someone is fear of no longer being that someone. Okay. This is where it becomes deeply human. A child learns to love, and the moment they love, really love, they also learn possibility of loss. Attachment theory tells us this is biological. We are weird to bond for survival, but that same wiring makes us vulnerable. Every time a child says, my mother or my father, they are also opening the door to the fear of losing them. Love and fear of loss grow together. They're almost the same root. So when we later fear death, a large part of it is not just about our own ending, it's about the ending everything we have learned to love. As the year passes, we start building an identity. We become certain kind of person, successful, caring, strong, creative, and responsible. We invest so much energy into becoming someone, and stronger that someone becomes, the more terrifying thought of losing them feels. Death doesn't just threaten the body, it threatens the entire story we have been writing about ourselves. That's why identity crisis and the death anxiety often appears together. When the self feels shaky, the fear of its final disappearance appearance grows louder. We are storytelling creatures. We live in narratives. We have beginnings, middles, and the endings we hope for. A big part of the death anxiety is the fear that the story will be cut short before it feels complete, before the things we wanted to say were said, before the person we were becoming fully arrived. It's not just the end of life, it's the end of the story, while the pages still feel unfinished. That unfinished feeling can be more painful than the idea of non existence itself. The Ernest Becker wrote something powerful. He said, much of the human creature is defense against the terror of death. We create meaning systems, achievements, legacies, beliefs, partly to buffer ourselves from the awareness that we will end. It's not these things are fake, they are meaningful, but one of their quiet function is to help us manage the knowledge of our own mortality. When those defenses are shaken through crisis, loss, or deep reflection, the fear often rises and we cling harder. That's just how we mind protects itself. From a psychological view, the ego is the part of us that says, I am this. It identifies with the body, with the roles, with memories, with achievements. Death is ultimate threat to the structure. The complete disappearance of the self the ego has worked so hard to maintain. Many of our defenses, denial, control, the need to be special, the need to leave something behind, can be seen as an ego's attempt to survive, even symbolically. When those defenses thin out, the fear becomes more direct and raw. Here's a quiet truth: the more deeply we love, the more ways we can be hurt by death. Every person we love becomes a place where death can reach us. Every meaningful role, every dream, every connection multiplies our vulnerability. Some people protect themselves by loving less, but that creates its own kind of emptiness. So we are left with this beautiful, difficult paradox. The same things that make life worth living also make death feel so heavy. When people say, I'm afraid of death, they often mean different things. Some fear the process, means that the pain, the loss of control and dependency. Others fear what comes after, the unknown, the nothingness, the possibility of judgment. Still, others feel what their death will do to the people they love. These are not the same fear. Understanding which one is the strongest in us can also make the whole experience less vague and more workable. It's not one bigger monster, it's several different concerns often mixed together. When we are young, death feels distant. The body still feels reliable. Time still feels abundant. As the body changes, energy lessens. The face changes. Small limitations appear. The abstract idea becomes physical. The body starts keeping score. It makes mortality harder to keep at a distance. This is why midlife and the later years often bring a different quality of death awareness. Not just because the death is closer in time, but because body itself has become a daily reminder. See, Peter frankly noticed something important. When people feel their life has meaning, death, while still sad, loses some of its terror. When life feels empty, death can feel either more terrifying or strongly welcome. The fear of death and the hunger for meaning are deeply connected. Sometimes, when we look closely at our fear of dying, we discover it is actually pointing to the places where life still feels unfulfilled or unlived. One of the most common regrets near the end of the life is not about what people did, but about what they didn't do. Words not spoken, paths not taken, love not fully expressed. Fear of death is often mixed with the pain of unlived life, the sense that story is ending while important chapters still feel missing. This is why addressing the regret while there is still time can soften the death anxiety more than almost anything else. Deep down, many of us want to matter behind our lifetime. We want to leave something children, work, influence, memory that continues after we are gone. Ernest Becker called this the desire for symbolic immortality. It is a natural response to the knowledge that biological life ends. We try to extend our lives in other ways. When that sense of living that race feels strong, the death anxiety often softens. When it feels urgent, the fear of complete erasure grows. We are not the first people to sit with this question. Every culture, every tradition has tried to respond to the fear of death. Some traditions teach us to meditate on death daily so it loses its power. Some teach non attachment, some emphasize living authentically in a face of unknown. Some offer the comfort of continuity behind the body. None of them remove the mystery completely, but they offer different ways of holding it, different postures toward the same deep human experience. There is surprising side to all of this. When people truly face their mortality, not in panic, but with an open eyes, something often shifts. Priorities become clearer, relationships become more precious. Small moments starts to matter more. The urgency of limited time can actually make the life feel more vivid. Irvin Yalom said something beautiful. The physicality of death destroys us, but the idea of death can save us. It can wake us up. If you look carefully at your own fear of death, it often reveals what you love the most, what you are most afraid of losing, what still feel unfinished or precious. In that sense, the fear is not the enemy, it is the information. It shows us the places where the life still matters deeply to us. That doesn't make the fear disappear, but it can change our relationship with it. Instead of only suffering it, we can listen to what it is pointing to us. And this is where everything comes together. We are not, we were not born afraid. We became afraid as we learned to love, as we became someone, as we created a meaning, as we invested ourselves in this temporary, beautiful, fragile existence. The fear of death is a shadow side of having allowed the life to matter. It is the cost of attachment, of identity, of love, of story. If we had never loved, never hoped, never become, we would not fear the end in the same way. So perhaps the fear itself is an evidence that we have lived, that we have cared, that something real happened here, and that is profoundly human. Thank you, guys. Thank you for walking this path with me. And our next session will be on relationship, how human beings build their relationship, and in life how they get affected. Thank you. Thank you for joining.